What's up, people? How's everybody doing in here? You guys all who's all in here? Let me see those comments. What's up, Derek? Hey, KJW. Kim. We got some cool stuff to talk about. Updates. Let everybody know what's up. Did you guys watch that? Did you tune into the meeting for AMC? Hey, Arthur, how are you doing, my friend? All right. Okay. So let's start kicking this off with the meeting first, okay? And then we're gonna work our way through all the info that I have to bring up today. So good. KGW will cover it. So in a nutshell, um, there was very like overwhelming support, especially over that cloud that has been hovering over the community for the past few or a couple of days. You know, some creators and some YouTubers and Twitter accounts have been selling the idea of dilution, 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 and it doesn't matter what side any of you is on, which one you believe or whatnot. At the end of the day, the answer was no. There's no dilution this year. Okay, that's out of the way. So out of the window. So that is one thing. Now I did notice there was a gentleman in the questions um, that asked Adam Aaron a question, and I couldn't I didn't hear the whole thing, but it was very interesting. I think that the gentleman asked him about it was something about like shorts and stuff like that. Like it was weird. I gotta go back and see it, but I know it was a weird moment, you know. So I have to see that one. I don't know if some of you seen that, but I have to go see that moment again and just rewind it and play it again. Um, Adam Aaron himself, he did say that he, in response to that question, as far as one part of that question was about FTDs, he said that he did ask numerous amount of times the NYSE as far as those what's up with those FTDs, and you know they he said that they said they're working on it. Basically, they gave him the runaround. Hey, the Coiler is in the house. Mr. Nickel, how are you, my friend? Jefferson, how are you doing? And you're probably wondering, as in, like, why is AB putting this title on this video, right? And you're like, what? AB putting moass is near? You don't see that quite often, right? I'll tell you why. Rhonda, how are you, my friend? So everything that we know is revolving around like one enemy that we have, the community in common. The most art enemy that we have is Citadel, and that's like a name everybody knows now. Now Citadel has a lot of crap going on in Chicago, the city, the home base that Citadel have originated from. They're literally like, I read one article that said they're reaching their tipping point with Citadel and all that stuff, and nobody likes Citadel. Folks, how are you, my friend? So seeing our people going in the background and going away. So what do we know about what's happening? Why do AB think that the moass is near? Now, besides the 75-point rate hikes, besides the market being completely in shambles, besides Bitcoin continuing another leg down, inching yet another closer step to its 52-week low. Here's the crazy part. Their 52-week low happens to be, which, by the way, at this point, we're about 2% away from the 52-week low, 2.5%, something like that. But what coincides with that as well is the fact that it's only also about 8%, less than 8% away from its most hold point or consolidating point for many major holders. One of them being Celsius, and there are a lot of rumors going around now that Celsius, the company, basically may have went ahead and committed some fraud against crypto holders and investors, and time will only tell. But all this, obviously, there's no smoke without fire. That's one thing we definitely all know. The crazy part in here is that once we hit that, you're gonna see margin calls. If we hit that $17,500 range with Bitcoin, so we're talking about around 12% away from this point, even probably a little bit less. If we hit that, you're talking about margin calls, not just for AMC and GME or meme stocks or whatnot. You're talking about margin calls in the crypto realm. And speaking of that, we'll mention Ethereum. We got one I was reading up on in Ethereum. You got Citron, which is a very notorious known crypto or a short company. Let me see where they were. Yeah, right there. So Citron research emerges from short selling hiatus to say Ethereum is worth $200. Okay. Look at the timing. These guys are shorters, right? Even the article is acknowledging them as that. So if they're short, and look what they're saying, that statement. I mean, I don't even understand how that is not considered illegal. Like it has to be downright illegal. This is conflict of interest at its finest. This is like the equivalence, or even worse than me saying, this is financial advice. Listen to what I say. And obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, and neither do I give financial advice. But this is the equivalence of that, because clearly, if they do, and they're not indicating here, but if they do have a short position, which they don't have to report right away immediately at this point, and no one is launching a lawsuit against them, whose best interest is it for the price to drop? It's in the best interest of Citron itself, because Citron is basically short. And I've mentioned this before, this term before, and some of you know this, some of the subscribers in this channel know this. It's called poop and scoop on Wall Street. They're put out this kind of crap right there, giving the people, because look at the timing. It's already in the middle of a crash. In fact, it's towards the end of this crash. We'll see how far it will go. But they're already feeding in with articles like this. They're feeding into the idea, or to people, that hey, this is going to go lower. So you might as well sell. But these guys, they know what's up. And here's why a lot of people that don't know much about crypto, or not following much with crypto, and here's why people, if you're watching this, you should probably consider yourself one of the lucky ones. And not because you're here watching this, because I'm about to tell you some stuff that if you are very good with linking points, it will be a very, very great help for you in the near future. So AMC, we know, is a done deal. GME, done deal. For me, again, you know, you say whatever you want to say. You believe what you want to believe. Frankie Muhammad, how are you, my brother? Much love to you, brother. And Patel, hey, good afternoon, brother. Mrs. Gloria, I see you. And D. Robinson, how are you, my friend? Okay. So we know that the meme stocks for AMC and GME are done deal. Here's the thing that we also beginning to forget about. Some of you in here are also in another some other meme stocks, and some of them are like bbig. Now, what do we know about bbig is that it was postponed over until the end of Q2 for its Cryptide spinoff. Well, end of Q2 ends in by the end of June. So we have a time frame now from basically next week and the week after that, and then according to the filings and to bbig or Vinco Ventures, that's when we'll be seeing the much coveted and awaited for spinoff. Now, look at those 2 weeks that we have toward the end of this month. Look at everything that have happened so far in the market, the crypto liquidations, what's going on with AMC, the board not approving any dilutions or any of that. And you put all these things together, things look really bullish, right? Let's jump over to the next thing that obviously we were going to get to, which is Citadel that I mentioned earlier. So Citadel, I've said long time ago, months ago, that they have left, and I've kept saying this, and many other people said this. Now, I'm not the only one. That they, or King Griffin himself, have been making moves to become more, go over to the crypto realm instead of being in the as the market maker in this stock market. And we know that he's making his moves around and all that stuff now. I've always been saying this, just they didn't make their moves to prove it via articles or documents. So those were speculations of mine back then, but now they're 100% true because I will read it to you now. Hanzo, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you in here. Where are we? Right there. Citadel Securities is gearing up to launch a crypto trading ecosystem for brokers. Wow, right? You're like, seriously? Who are they partner up with? Sequoia and Virtue. Happens to be market makers in the stock market that we are in, right? With AMC and GME. So it sounds like, from just looking at this, well, for one, we can verify that, yes, he is King Griffin and Citadel Securities with it, which is a different, excuse me, sorry, let me just put this down. It gets annoying, man. You get all these, start getting all these messages. It ruins my thoughts. So now we got those people that we're very, 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 that we've speculated on doing this, and we know what they're doing here, and now they're trying to put their hands on the crypto. But why? Why, if since crypto is dumping and is crashing, why is so serious? Why they interest? Why are they even going about it that way? I mean, after all, it was always an illegal assets, and you could lose your money and you'd be shit out of luck and all that stuff. And now suddenly they're doing this. What are they doing in the same time as they're doing that? Well, apparently they're waiting on the SEC and for lawmakers to go ahead and provide the go ahead, because apparently they're ready whenever they are. So basically they have a system already in place. They're just waiting on them whenever they are. And it's weird that the whole crypto market happens to be dumping as this whole thing is happening, right? As they're coming up with a market or becoming market makers in the crypto realm. Next thing you know, you got this complete crash throughout the whole crypto industry. In the same time, you got other shorters like Citron saying that, hey, Ethereum is only worth $400 or $200. Here's what they what they say that they want to do or why they're doing it, as far as like what is it going to be good, or how good is it going to be for the crypto realm. Let me see, which tab is it? I got a lot of tabs open over here. So look at this crypto trading platform coming from Citadel Securities, Virtue, Fidelity, and Schwab. And they're basically doing this system, as you can see, with all the brokers. So when the SEC or when regulators regulate crypto, sad day or sad moment, obviously, but when they do so, you're going to have a system that is already going to be self-implemented in a way, because everybody, the whole, like, it's kind of like having a heart, but the heart doesn't like the body that it goes in, but it has to. In order for it to beat, it has to be in a body, and the whole body is Citadel, the brokers, all that, they make up the body. So basically, we're taking the heart, which is a faulty one in this case, which is these Virtue, Citadel Securities, Sequoia, and they're basically implementing what basically we're going through in the stock market. That is going over and heading over to the crypto realm. Now you're thinking, you're like, okay, well, I don't want to be in that. Well, that's not the case, or that's not what I'm saying. The reason why they're doing that, but after all this talk that I've been giving you so far, is basically, why would so many people go through all the trouble over something that is not going to be within the future or implemented in our future? The answer is none. Nobody will spend a single second, rather than not even a single penny, on something that is not going to be valued later, especially when it's in the business world, and especially when it's on that big of a pedigree, when it's global. So my 2 cents on the crypto thing is that this is a much coveted for drop, so that most of these brokers and most of these entities like Citadels and all that can scoop up notorious positions and corner that market, so that they don't have to get into that same situation with the buy and hold that they're dealing with us with the meme stocks. They know that there were meme coins, Dogecoin, SHIB. Speaking of Dogecoin, any of you in here, I've said this a few times before, but not a lot of people want to hear it, because when people, weirdly, when people follow something or they invest in something, it becomes some sort of, weirdly, it becomes some sort of, that's it, it has to work. And if it's not working, then everything else is a shill in the world, or everyone that's not on board with me is a shill. It's weird. I don't understand. It's kind of like a childish mindset. And this is the last place, the investing world is the last place for mindsets like this. But nevertheless, did you know that Robinhood, yeah, the trading platform that, you know, most of you and all of us hate, they hold almost 1/3 of all Dogecoins in circulation. If you go and look and see, you'll see that most of other brokers as well are on that same page. One of the reasons why back in early 2021 that Elon Musk had an issue with Dogecoin was the fact that Dogecoin, he mentioned, was too concentrated amongst a few the top wallets. And he wanted that to be diverse. So in order for him to take this thing even more seriously, and we understand he's always for meme coins, and he loves the Shiba Inu dogs and all that stuff. But reality of the situation here is that all that is concentrated. So as many as you buy, as many as you go ahead and buy, clearly these brokers have all the liquidity needed for that. And now they're getting the evil masters to even regulate the whole well, let's backtrack a little bit from regulating, from market making the entire crypto market, at least in the US, right? They're making a platform if they don't already have it. They're even ready for when lawmakers or regulators are ready to hand over crypto ETFs. They're even ready for those. And what is their sales pitch? Is that the reason why they should be the ones or will be the ones in this case is because they provide much needed liquidity for that crypto realm so that, basically, um, when there needs to be synthetics, we got you. However, on the blockchains, that's going to be extremely, extremely difficult. So this is why they're going about it by scooping as much of the real float of all the coins as much as they can. Because again, if you just happen to pop in right now in the chat, you would definitely have to watch a little bit ago, like backtrack maybe later to understand exactly where, how we got to this point, or how did AB get to this point where it's so bullish on crypto even more than before. And I understand everybody's looking at this like, how far can it drop? Well, put yourself in these guys' shoes. If you were listening to this whole entire thing and you think about it from a perspective of their perspective, they're trying to become market makers and they're trying to make a whole trading ecosystem with colluding also in the support of all the brokers like the Weebles, the Robinhoods, the Schwabs, the Fidelities. And their sales pitch is obviously that we're going to provide liquidity. Why would they be going through all that if that entire realm is going to shambles and is burning down to the ground, as we are seeing right now with crypto? Well, because they want to get it for as cheap as possible, less, have leverage. When you have something that is much needed, of high demand, yet you got it for much less, you control the power over everyone else because you are the bottom cost. Remember when we were talking about how Tesla institution and MicroStrategy, I think it's Michael Saylor, are the top two biggest Bitcoin holders, institutional biggest holders in Bitcoin, and seeing them around an average of 30 to 31,000. Well, look at this right now. Most of these people, I'm assuming, would have to average down. This is crazy. The fact that they're already in an average down position, because these, like, you're talking about two of the top institutions in the world, big boys, they don't get into a point where they're averaging down. It's always the other way around, where it's like retail is the one that is averaging down because they came in at wrong points. Well, whether it was for with manipulated reasons on their side or not, but they're always on the bottom, and the risk is always on the retail side because you're the one who's buying at a higher end. At any given point for them, they can sell and for sure be in the profit. It's kind of like 100% win-win for them. But they know where this thing is going and what it's worth. And that's why you're seeing all this poop on the crypto realm, which is going to turn into scoop really soon. But why is that coinciding with moass is near, right? In order for them to jump into this, they have to be done with this. And this is the way I see it, the way they can jump into this. So I'm keeping my eyes on their moves, their side moves, because no one is going to come out and say, yeah, we hold 50 billion floats of AMC from their end. It's just not going to happen this way. No one is going to come and self-incriminate themselves. But their side moves like this into the crypto realm, and their future moves, because clearly right now, this is the biggest project that these guys are working on. Our most arch enemy is fully pledged to this crypto project. And since they're putting that much, all their effort into it, that means that's what they're preparing for. That's the thing that they're aiming for, which means whatever they're involved in is wrapping up because they got to go full-fledged on this, because that's going to be the future of assets and things as we know them, in a crypto digital way. So I'm very, very excited. I'm very bullish. Besides all the many catalysts that we have behind us, besides even tomorrow, the Evergrande posting on the register, as far as it not being worth anything. Anybody who's holding it, they will basically be holding collateral that's worth nothing, garbage, as it should, long time ago. But tomorrow that goes into effect, and it also coincides with the fact that we have over 400,000 contracts or calls that are going to be out of the money, unless what happens tomorrow is the opposite of what was happening basically today. So we're not going to put too much. We don't do hopeism in here and all that stuff, but I always expect expect the worst, but hope for the best. Another thing about Citadel, look at this. Citadel hired a heavy hitter from Goldman Sachs in Hong Kong. Ooh, I wonder what, like, okay, Goldman Sachs. We know that a long time ago, when this whole Evergrande situation first popped up, that Citadel, apparently there were rumors that Goldman Sachs is trillions of dollars over leveraged with garbage collateral from there. And apparently the rumor also had it as it was Citadel that was using all that junk paper from there, basically bringing it here and taking massive loans and the collateral provided was their investments in Evergrande. Well, when that went to zero as of tomorrow, who's paying the bill on this? Clearly, Citadel is making, they're too busy building a project with the crypto world and making becoming market makers in the crypto realm. So that doesn't tell me, those actions don't tell me that, that's someone that's going to go down. We're going to be honest here. Again, I'm looking at this fully observed. If you're in here, guys, and you're looking for, and I know not all of you are like this, but some of you who pop in out of the blue, and you're welcome. But if you're coming in here hoping for or watching something that's going to tell you, oh yeah, tits jacked tomorrow, moon, and now it's about win pounds. It's not just win moon, it's win Lambo, win pounds. Now, that you're coming to the wrong place for that. Here, for me, I want to always focus on events that happen and events that didn't happen yet, but in the process of happening, and try to break them down from an analytical standpoint and see what fits best. It's kind of like a game of make the right shape, So they went and poached. Now, with all that out of the way, as far as what Citadel was using and Goldman being over leveraged on all that Evergrande garbage, weirdly, just yesterday, this came out yesterday, Citadel hired a heavy hitter from Goldman Sachs in Hong Kong. So Citadel has poached another senior banker from Goldman Sachs in Hong Kong as it looks to build out its presence in Asia. The firm has hired Peter Colvin as its chief operating officer for the APAC region. Colvin has joined after 20 years at Goldman Sachs. Man, why are you doing this, man? You had 20 years. You didn't want your 401k. You didn't want to retire there. Apparently, Citadel must have given him better retirement incentives. I wonder who was also working for Goldman Sachs a while ago, a long time ago, for many years. You might know who it is. They're in a very high office. And it goes on after that. The article goes on after that about talking about, King Griffin, he started it back in 2002, and he rose to fame from the 2001 crazy .com era, and he's like, oh my god, the best, and they keep tickling his balls basically in that article, the rest of that article. So we're looking at all this crazy stuff, guys, and it's like, wow. Yeah, this is definitely happening and is moving forward. On the bright side, you got, look at this. This is the bright side. We got Binance providing officially of providing proof of assets for wallets for Doge, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the most coveted coins. And that's very, 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 very important. You probably will ask me, excuse me, um, what is so important about proof of assets in the crypto realm? Well, I'll read it to you. The most reliable way to prove ownership of cryptocurrencies is to sign a specified message with your private key. So basically, if you own Dogecoin, and let's say you're in Binance and they give you that, you'll be able to provide a special message or a private specific message that you put on as a private key on your holdings. By doing so, the third party can verify that the counterparty really knows the respective private key without the need of revealing the very key or having to send a transaction. So, um, you at that point you no longer have to say, "Hey, I will send you 10,000 Doge," and the other person was like, "Okay, can you at least send some to?" I would know you have it or what. Like it solves all those misunderstandings and all those issues in that realm. So that's a very bullish thing. But they also happen to be people also that are involved in this whole new market makers and the new crypto realm that is being created by Citadel, Virtue, and Sequoia. So what are they doing? It's very obvious. They're basically staking as much. Now they're putting the proof of this so that whatever they're holding as well is all valid. It's only a matter of time before lawmakers come in and chime in and give them what they need. And I'm not saying this so basically all of this so that we all could be like, man, I hate these guys and I'm not going to be a part of this. You have one question at that point and one answer. You can only have one answer to it. Are you in this to make money? Or are you in this for the principle? Whatever your answer is, basically trust your gut and trust your heart and go accordingly with whatever your answer is. My answer at this point, yeah, well, I love principle and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm in this for money. Anything. This is business. All of this is business. Yeah, it's shady, it's terrible how they're going about it and how they cut and slice the way they want. Um, but this is the times that we're in. I'm not gonna just say no. I don't want to partake, and I don't want to make money because it's out of the principle and all that stuff. Well, no, it is what it is. It's coming. It's coming. Um, that obviously tells me. This is why when people ask me like, "Oh, King Griffin is gonna go to jail," and I tell them, it's not that I'm sticking up for the guy. God knows I hate the guy more than anything, and hate is a big word, right? I mean, I've been in this meme stock saga since September of freaking 2020. So only Lord knows what kind of animosity I have toward these kind of people or Ken Griffin himself, you know? So, but is he realistically going to go to prison? I will hold down to my statement that I've said months ago, and I will continue to say the same thing. My humble opinion, that guy is not going to prison simply because you see these things that I'm telling you. All these things, why would be the all these brokers tie themselves up? Think of it like this, and this is a wild example. When Epstein was discovered and everything like that was happening on for so many years finally came to light, guess what all his friends did? Even his best friends, they separate, they distance themselves from that person. That's it. You're a burnt card. You're as good as dead. And eventually he died. Well, he didn't die, he took his life. So if there was any implications that this guy is gonna go do prison time or anything, any of these other major people up there, all of them, that whole class up there, because they're all interconnected, will further and distance themselves from him. They won't be working on the project of the era or the century. This is huge. The fact that they're making a complete market making like pool with the backing and connection with all the brokers without even getting the green light to do so? This is crazy. This is like the equivalence of me going to build a house in the middle of the highway, literally. And somehow I convinced like 50 other people to go ahead and do the same thing. And now that we got 50 houses in the middle of the highway, the government comes in and says like, all of you are going to prison. Well, rightfully we should be, right? We can't just go ahead and take that. However, in that realm, in that world over there, everyone else is in their pockets. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is what tells me that this guy isn't going to prison. Neither will I. I would love him to go and do all the time possible and be fleeced from all of his money because it was unrightfully taken from so many people, whether via the meme stock sagas for the last few years or in other ways of treachery that he got up his sleeve. But at the end of the day, this is not what it's looking like, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm in this for money at the end of the day. Does that mean I'm in it for like low numbers or high numbers or whatnot? I'm not indicating and saying any of these things. My numbers are my numbers. Your numbers are your numbers. I was on a call the other day with one of my friends, and it was funny because they wanted to kind of like, I guess, know where my head is, I guess, because I'm pretty sure all of you have that question. It's like, what is the sentiment? What is everybody's price? What is everybody trying to sell at? So my friend asked me, he was like, would you sell for 5K? And if they gave you an ultimatum and said, hey, all you can do is just close. You cannot sell, or like you can't buy. You just have to sell orders, and they give you an ultimatum of selling for 5K. Would you take it? And at that point, I said, okay, this is equivalent. Like our whole community have become the same equivalence of, when you go to work or your day-to-day job, and your coworker asks you, or one of your friends asks you, how much do you make a week, by the way? Or if you're a salaried employee, how much do you make a year? What's your salary? It's an uncomfortable question. People normally don't ask that in the American society. I don't know what it's like out there in other places. I know in Jordan, it's also the same. So I would assume that it's a very universal thing. But when it comes to our community, when it comes to this, we have cut out a different breed of people with different mindset, I guess, that kicks all those traditions out of the window. Whose business is it for anybody's numbers? So I didn't obviously get mad at my friend because it's natural. Like everybody just at least wants to know what's the sentiment, or gauge it at least, because they got money on the line, right? So I approached it differently and told them that, hey, the reason why no one can have exactly, or everyone can't have the same number, is because everybody has different wants and different needs. So and they have different holdings as well. So depending on that, whatever your wants, whatever your needs are, and your holdings, that's how you program what your number is. This is what you should think around, or that's how you come up with your numbers. The idea of being blindfolded and just aiming for something that you're hoping at that point that it just gets to, because again, you can't gauge everybody's sentiment. Someone could be like, and I'm not gonna put any names. I have a very good example or a name to put, but I'm not gonna put a name. But anyone can say, oh, tweet and make YouTube channels and say 100,000 a share, $1 million a share, and all that stuff. But how do you know 100% that that person is holding really to that number? Unless they come out and afterwards and show that they sold for that number. If it goes that high, then there's no way that you can tell. They can tell you, yeah, I sold for $102,000 a share, and you have to run with it. Or you could choose to either run with it, or you could say, prove it. And now it's in their court, and they have to say, oh, well, I don't feel comfortable sharing my position. So ultimately, you don't know, and neither should anyone know what anyone else is holding or what their numbers are and whatnot. Again, when you got in this, hopefully, I'm hoping you got in this solely alone out of your own convictions, not because of anybody else's hype or anything. And this is why we are seeing a lot of animosity going on and fudding and shills. Not all shills, I honestly believe, are paid bots, because there are some that are actual people. It's just people that got burned across along this process, and they feel like this stock or these stocks remind them of the ugly truth of how they went broke, and rather than that, also missed out on the opportunity of the lifetime, because they still believe in the moass. But now that they got burned, or obviously they're doing, whether they did YOLO options and didn't know and they expired worthless, whether they sold their shares based on some other people's advices saying sell high or on a green day and buy back on the red day and whatnot, they only got themselves to blame. But again, not everybody thinks like you or me. Everybody thinks different. Some people just don't own up to their mistakes, and they want to blame it the whole world and the entire community and the entire play for their shortcomings. So I hope that that's not any of you loved ones in the family in here. So let me read some comments real quick. Jeffrey, how are you, brother? It's nice to see you in here. I know I'm probably left behind. I got a few things to still talk about. Bitcoin seems to have great support at 20. In my opinion, if it falls below 20, psychological effect of seeing 19 could drop it significantly. Mr. Martin, yes, I think I don't know, Bobby, or Bob, sorry, you've seen, I don't know if you've seen that message between me and Teldog. I provided some on Discord. I provided some, I don't know whose Discord was it, on my Discord or Pam's Discord, what the levels are. And it's so funny that, what looked like and what they were pushing for as far as pump the entire day yesterday. Oh, yes, look, Bitcoin is back up to 22 and almost about to touch 23. We're going to get a relief. We're going to pump from these levels. Well, I told them I wouldn't be too pumped on that. There was levels in that message. I've said there were levels that I would need to see that for me to feel like it's a confirmed relief to the upside. Not a confirmed relief to the downside. And it continued consolidating and dancing around that level, which was in the 21,000 range. It was 21.7. And it couldn't hold 22 above it. So looking at the movement on the chart, seeing it making lower lows and lower highs on every new wave beginning, I was like, okay, yeah, this thing is experiencing much heavier selling pressure than buying pressure. And that most likely could be coinciding with the fact that the poop and scoop is in full effect. Again, you see what Citron said today about Ethereum, that it's worth $200, which it could very well likely, again, psychologically, that's the term, that's the meaning of poop and scoop in Wall Street. When they gain all the leverage on the future, because honestly, I do believe, and this gave me more conviction also. All these actions that they're doing gave me even more convictions, even though I had an idea before, but it's giving me way more conviction now in the fact that crypto is the future. Like, there's no more probably, this is my opinion, I'm no longer saying I think crypto will be the future or stable coins or what. No, crypto is the future. And yes, I'm saying it, look, when on the most vulnerable moment in crypto's most recent history, right? And I'm saying it right now because this is going to be this is the way that they can gauge it down, scoop up most of it, literally all of it, on the backs, on the losses of all the retail holders. And furthermore, they basically will be able to hit 3 birds with 1 stone. I know there's a saying that says 2 birds with 1 stone, but no, these guys want to hit 3 or even more, multiple birds in 1 stone. And that way they can also accumulate, gain the control over most of these blockchains and all these cryptocurrencies. And on top of that, be able to regulate it the way they want and be in a position where they don't get squeezed out of their positions after, when in case they choose to do something nefarious like they're doing to AMC and GME and some other meme stocks to some of these coins. Again, Robinhood alone owns over a third of Doge coins circulating around. Yeah, they've been talking about we're gonna make individual wallets for you and you're gonna have it and all this stuff, and yeah, you're gonna be happy, but guess what? None of that have happened yet, and by the time it happens, you can rest assured that's when you'll see the new platform done with all the new market makers on board: Virtue, Sequoia, and obviously yours favorite, yours truly, Citadel. Keep driving, Jeffrey. Don't point, or don't pay attention to the chat. All right, let's see who else do we have in here. Richard Mock, how are you, brother? Stacia, thank you so much. So what do you think of the people who are saying if Red Boss squeezes, so will AMC and GME? Good question, KJW. So I've previously said that bbig, before they pushed their dividend or split their coveted spinoff with Cryptide, I said that the bbig will be our measuring stick for GME and AMC. I'm not saying they will be equivalent to them. I'm saying they will be measuring stick because they can kick that off. Think of it like this. As we're seeing them drop crypto and we've seen the sell-off in the crypto realm, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're also just hurting on that. This only feeds into my theory that they've already, and I know others have said this, but this solidifies my conviction into the fact that these guys have already known that they lost the battle against the meme stocks long time ago. They've been just working behind closed doors on the future, on the next move. And while doing so, why not make some money in the process, or lessen the amount of people, or lessen the blow? Because they didn't want that ship with everybody on it since back in September and October of 2020 to January of 2021. You know, since then, they're like, we can't have all these people all land or dock with that ship. We gotta shake that off. So again, to them, these guys are so nefarious. They think way, way, way down the line and much ahead. Because when one thing that they fear the most is the idea, or them imagining that they're going to be living a life without any single one of their luxuries that they've gotten accustomed to. You know, we had a phone call once before, and Jeffrey, you remember this, and Adrian, you guys remember when we were saying, I said the difference between us and them is that we can live with this life, the filthy rich life, or the broke life if we have to. We're survivors. We can make it. Look what the heck. Look what we've been doing for over a year and a half with them. But that's the core difference between us and them. They can only live that high life. Once any of them loses that high life, like oh, somebody picking up their dry clean or prepping their meal for them and everything, and it's like all these butlers and all that stuff, if that goes away, that's when you hear news. Oh, such and such lost his wealth, and in the pursuit of doing so, he jumped from an 80-story building from the 80th floor, succumbing to his injuries. So you can see that's a major difference. So these guys can't go broke. To them, their mentality, oh, I can't go broke. I can't even lose this much because that would make me not be able to get this. or I won't be able to hold on to this lifestyle. And therefore, I'm as good as dead. That's how they are. They are not accustomed to going down and rising back up. Furthermore, proving that these people got used to the high life, that they most likely robbed or stole their way into that life. And that's why when they lose it, they can't bear living. They're like, there's no way I'll be able to do what I did before once again. Robbing everybody else again to get to the top. So the answer is to Redbox. You're seeing what they're doing with Redbox as far as TD Ameritrade yesterday, saying, you know, that they were only processing sell orders on the options, not making new options. These guys are trying to survive, like these brokers. And I'm not saying this as in like that's an excuse. No, you allowed over shorting this, naked shorting these stocks, and now you're trying to come up, like, you know, all these people are cashing out and you're not going to be able to buy more stock because many of them are going to exercise these options. So they're like, okay, we're just going to have an open to close positions. Only you can only close. You cannot buy new options as far as with TD Ameritrade. Other platforms didn't have that restriction. So what you can see here are clearing houses are having major liquidity crisis. And you're seeing it being very reflective on the crypto realm. More so, you've seen it across all the stock market. All the indexes hit 52-week lows, new 52-week lows. In fact, I even saw it yesterday in the pre-market. As soon as it opened, UVXY and the VIX whoop, shot up 4, 5, 6%. And, you know, when that happens, not financial advice, but that when that happens, you automatically can look and see the SPY and you're going to see it red. And little that we knew, it was in the red. In fact, it opened up to a rocking start, down 2% in the pre-market, dancing around the 52-week low in the pre-market already and successfully making a new 52-week low. Congrats, SPY. Congrats, S&P 500. Congrats, NASDAQ. And congrats to the Dow Jones. Everybody give a round of applause to the major indexes because they made a new 52-week low so far, as in just today. Tomorrow is Quad Witchin. We also got Juneteenth on Monday, so we have a 3-day weekend yet again. Ooh, wonder what's going to be happening. And then we got, just on AMC alone, we have over 400,000 calls that just as far as calls that are going at this point out of the money. But that's not entirely all it, because even at this very point, we also have, let me read this for you. Let me pop this out for you to give you the exact numbers. Boom. Boom. Okay. To give you exact numbers, we have about 404,000 calls that are out of the money, only 7,000 in the money. And on top of that, we do have 132 at this point, 132,000 puts in the money and 81,000 out of the money. So what the market makers, just to give you a better picture on tomorrow, what tomorrow will be like from their end and from our end. From their end, they're going to be trying to aim for that strike price that is golden, that causes the least amount of losses to them on both option chains, on the calls and the put side. And when I see that, I can go ahead and see what are they going to be aiming for. They're going to be aiming for something that's around the $12 range. It's going to be, as far as what I see, their best interest is for the stock to close underneath somewhere underneath the 12 or right around the $12 range, and that will cause, yes, a few more calls to go in the money, but that would take many other puts out of the money. In fact, let me just double check it so that you guys don't go like, oh man, come on, AB. Yep, open interest. Holy moly. Sorry, guys. This is for the best interest, so please bear with me because I want to give you good info. So $12 strike price, and then we got the 13. Okay, let's look at the calls real quick. 12. Yeah. For their best interest, they're gonna try to tame this bad boy, anywhere between the 11.65 to $12 range, perhaps. Not break the 12s, just stay in the upper 11s. That's if they don't try to even bring it down even more tomorrow. But I don't see that because again, that would ruin them even more catastrophically into the puts realm and put more of those puts into the money as well. So there, that's what they're, as far as for us, our approach to it. I would love for this thing to, and I know that we are at the upper 11s. I know we're 1180, 1179. I understand this, but the bullish case for what's all this, that is happening, and then what is going on tomorrow, and they're all going like you're talking about millions of contracts going to expire tomorrow because it is quad witching day. Um, and there's one of those in every quarter throughout the year. So it just happens to be tomorrow. Man, we would love it to go up and somehow go up and somehow close anywhere between 16. The dream case scenario would be 20 for AB, and that's if it doesn't squeeze tomorrow. Who's to say it won't? I don't know. Again, nobody can give out dates or special, like, or at least in here, financial advice. But the dream case is 20. But if we close at 16, it will be a very major victory. And I know what we would have to go through to get to that. But again, it's look at those volatility in the pre-market. Normally, just to give you guys another info, on quad witching days, you want to look at the pre-market, and normally between like they make their moves like as soon as like it's before the end of close day today, something could happen, or tomorrow when the pre-market first opens, because of the restructuring and the expiration of many things. So there's a lot of volatility, and normally it lasts for up to 4 days, but it's always the first 10 hours that are the most crucial in that day. So if we're going to see something, we'll see it very fast. Let's see. Look at that. Bitcoin, as we are speaking, is on its way back down again. It finished that little wave that it had to the upside. Now it's going back down, and let's see if it. Yeah, I could see it touching. Oh yeah. These are interesting times, guys. If you have never, and I'm not trying to influence anybody on the crypto realm and everything, but hopefully everything I said in this whole past 45 minutes or an hour about crypto and all the moves that certain entities and people are doing, if all that does not give you an indication on what or how important is the crypto realm and what is it going to be into our near future or in the future for us and human civilization in general, all the banks incorporating new systems, and you see articles a lot about that. Wonder what are they incorporating? All digital systems, no more paper stacks and all that stuff. In preparation of what? Okay, let's read some comments real quick. Bliss, how are you, my friend? Welcome here. Kim A, red box pump and dump. Well, this is exactly what they want to do. But as far as what Redbox have accomplished thus far, you guys, okay, you guys can go back in time and look at that live from a month and a half ago. A little bit, probably a little bit over that. When I gave you guys the technicals on there, on my opinion of what it was going to take, where it was have to take over, it would have to overtake 850 to 870 is my preferred landing spot, so that I can confirm that it is in the process of squeezing, and that's my entry point at that point. That's what I did back then. And then I said that looking at those technicals at that point, and look how far the difference between 850 to $18. And I said that it's going to be well over 18 bucks. It's going to hit 18 bucks and perhaps go well over 18 bucks. Is it over? Not yet. Because if it was over, you would see it in that price. I'm not also saying that it is not over. It could consolidate here for a while. But why is this so bullish and great for all of us and for all of you? Because that's also a dot or an organ within the body. So if we're going to look at all the stock market as a body, this is one of the components or one of the cells in the body. And since they went ahead and did a cancer movement on the whole entire body, because they just, all their moves were cancerous, trying to infect everything. Almost every stock is played with this, within the stock market. This is how they do. The only thing at this point, they got us to a point where the only savior to this is chemotherapy. And even then, that does not save it. That's not necessarily going to save the situation. So if Redbox did what it did, if BBIG do what it does, other stocks, other meme stocks squeeze, that's a big punch to the gut to them, because they're fighting a battle on all fronts. It's impossible to win the battle that they're fighting. And this is why they're doing their due diligence as far as what they're doing about the crypto realm. It's crazy. The fact that now you got brokers in the crypto brokers that are providing proof of asset on these coins, like the writing is not just on the wall, it's behind me as well. Who calling? Let's see. Melvin cover this month. Yes, they did mention that, and we're going to see that toward the end of this month. Not anytime soon. Pixie in the woods. How are you, my friend? Nice to see you in here. Oh my God, I just ate too much quesadilla. Lucky you. Well, hopefully it was enjoyable, Hanzo. Oh man, Veronica, Chase, how are you, my friend? Hello, AB. So glad you're on. Watch Boss Blunt all day, and you closing my evening. You and Boss keep it real. It shows. Well, thank you, first of all, Veronica. And unfortunately, I missed the Boss Blunt live, and I'm gonna watch it later now. After I get off the stream, I'll make some tea. Well, no, first I gotta do some yard work, and then maybe shoot some hoops, even though it's in the 90s here and it's humid. It's not Phoenix 90 or hot like Jeffrey I know would say, hey, you think you got dealing with hot? Come here these days, just these days, to Cincinnati, Ohio, and see exactly if it's worse or if it's like these areas. So I'm okay with dry heat. It could go up to 150 if it wants. Well, not necessarily, but it can go as high as it wants, but dry. But the humidity here is unbelievable, and the pollen is unbelievable. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So the fact that you Veronica the fact that you have watched all day for Boss, that's amazing. And then you're here now. I mean, that's, to me, that's there's no words that can describe the level of gratitude that basically I have for someone who's doing this, because obviously you're putting in your time. You're sharing your time with me, and I don't speak for Boss, but I'm pretty sure he's appreciative to that as well, to each single one of you guys, because you're sharing your most valuable asset, not your subscription or your view. You're sharing your time. That's what I look at the most. You know, that's what matters to me. This whole talk of, and I was having another call and talk about it with one of my really good friends yesterday as well, a couple of friends yesterday, late at night, like really late, pre-market hours. And we were talking about how this movement have taken some weird, like many weird bodies along the way, like weird mindsets, so many things. Like this is the only, like I've mentioned, like this is the only community where people are actually going around and it's like, oh yeah, you're doing it for subs or views and whatnot. I understand there are creators that are doing that. I understand it's important to point them out. But people really got this idea that we're out here making like thousands and millions of dollars. And yes, it could be the case for some tubers. But if you look at the other communities or other realms in the YouTube world, like for example, go to open up something about basketball related stuff, all those creators will be making content about basketball and whatnot, and they will be getting like hundreds of thousands and even millions of views. Not even one single comment that's in there is about one shilling on some other creator. They don't go and make content especially to shill on another creator, which is what we have in the community now. Many creators are thinking like, hey, if I aim for him and aim for the jugular and take him off or take her off, then I gain popularity. And it's like, okay, wow, that's the first time I see this kind of side to in YouTube, but only with our in our realm. That's one. Two, you know, no one in these other channels or these other stratospheres are looking at, you know, oh, you got subscriptions. In fact, they pride themselves with their subscribers and their views and how many. They don't think about it like, yeah, okay, I'm going to be making this much, and nobody's viewing them and saying they're going to be making this much. It's weird. It's weird, and they, all my friends also agreed with it as well. So I humbly, again, thank you so much for your time. That's the most important thing to me out of everything that stands out. Your time, guys. P Duke 68. I don't need a moon date. I'm just here to find out when we're firing David Bell. Go Reds. Oh my God. Yeah, it's safe to say the Reds are not taking it serious this year. Hanzo, I got a song for you. Your body's telling you no. No, no. Your mind is telling you no. No, no, no. It should be the opposite. Okay, because you said you ate too much. Your mind is telling you yes, but your body is telling you no. And you're looking at the quesadilla like, baby. I want nothing more. Diaz, what's up? How is it going, my friend? How was that live stream today with Boss's live stream? Oh, I hope that it went great. I'm gonna watch it anyways. The coiler is coiling those like buttons. Thank you, Stacia. I appreciate you so much. Ever since I've been in AMC, I have never felt like it won't happen. I feel like it already did, and I'm waiting to change lives. That's a very and by the way, I second that as well, Hanzo. I'm with you on that boat. Um, you have no idea, guys. For some of you who are stressed with this, um, you have no idea how psychologically you can literally, like Hanzo just said, um, approach it differently, just like from a psychological perspective, and all the pressure will go away. Because once you know all the things we've been talking about, and plus you know that you're on the opposite end of someone who's leveraged, you're the one. It's kind of like you're holding. What's the best example here? Imagine all these hedge funds and market makers being the bad people, and we are the Avengers. Okay, this is how you can look at it. And at this point, we're the ones who also have all the Infinity Stones. That's true. They need what we have. The shares are those Infinity Stones. So when I go to sleep at night, I sleep very happy and tight and make sure that the AC is on. So therefore, it's very cold in my room and all this stuff. Why? Because I have no, there's no heat. I'm not sleeping with any heat. I'm holding what they need. And unless you give me what I want, you're not going to have it. And if you keep pushing this further and further, I'm going to have more of what you need. And it's only going to be more complicated for you then and more beneficial for me later. So therefore, why so serious, right? Yes. Let's see. Hanzo had a dream. Um, and it was moass and all of us apes were in a parade with wads of money dancing around on our AMC float with the song "We're Family" blaring. Nice. Well, I hope that dream comes true. Well, we'll see. Hey, what's up with those stupid hedgies and market makers stealing the buy button again? Um, and in what did they take the buy button again from a specific stock or something? Is Coinbase shorted or coin? Um, well, I would assume again. I don't know right off the bat, but I could assume that for you, T Andrews, that they are because one, um, when they announced, if you backtrack a week and a half ago, when they gave that weird indication telling people that yeah, you possibly could lose your assets if we were to go bankrupt. Um, so many people understood it in so many different ways, right? Um, but that's an indication that it is being shorted because nobody's going to miss a chance in that world. When they see a bone, no one is going to miss a chance to go for it. You know, nothing comes and sits and just rots. You know, everything is utilized. But anyways, they take advantage of all these opportunities. Now, here's the thing: when they say something like this, personally for me, I take it as they are speaking through the media to everyone, but they're really mainly targeting a specific crowd. And in my opinion, or humble opinion, that specific crowd are the whales or invested, or even their board members, or even the people that are invested in Coinbase, to tell them basically, hey, if we go down, you could go down too. I'm not going to owe you shit. Like that's just them saying within our bylaws and everything, all that stuff can be like your assets could go down the drain as well. So when they say something like this, people are naturally going to be selling out of it, not necessarily just shorting it. Now, one side is going to be shorting it for sure. You know, they're going to be making their money. This thing, they know this thing is going to drop. Why not capitalize? But the other side, the people that they were targeting, those people are going to be like, okay, well, just because you gave me that, I mean, again, think of it yourself. If you have like over 10 million or 20 million or whatever the number is, but in the millions invested in this, and you hear something like that, are you going to flinch? Are you going to be worried? I know I would. I don't know about flinching. I will be hurrying to take my assets out, because that's signaling to me that these guys are obviously going down with the crypto realm. And that's why it's important to know and pick your entry points and your exit points as well. Now, I don't know if you are invested, T. Andrews, in coin base, because there's also another one. There's Coin Desk as well. And, it's so crazy how they, you could confuse the two simply with each other just because their name is very similar. But yes, right now, for me personally, it's off limits. All this stuff, anything crypto related, is red realm, red line. I stay way far away from it, but I'm very close to where I've shared with some of my friends on what my thoughts on it and how I'm going to tackle it. I've already made my scenarios as far as how I'm going to tackle this. Yes, I will be huge in the crypto. After everything I rambled for you guys here today, so far from the beginning, for the last hour and 20 minutes, almost roughly, about the changes and things that are happening in the crypto realm, I am more bullish than the bullish than how bullish I was even prior to this point in life about it. So yes, I played my scenarios in my head, and I'm gonna act accordingly if any of them comes into fruition. Like Jeffrey said, that's a socially retarded to ask that question, right? It's okay. Okay. So majority of the world is not, and I'm not saying this as a person who's a leader or anyone is a leader or whatever. No one is a leader. You're a leader in your own life, right? But majority of the world, when it comes to collective or joint efforts, it's safe to say that majority of the world is a following like mindset, and only a few are leading the way or choosing their path, right? So mentally, it's kind of it's like, I can see why people, because they have a lot of money riding on this, and only a few people doing really worth it and massive DD, and kind of bring it back to the den for everyone else, and it gets spoon fed to everyone. And I'm not saying that that's what everybody's waiting for, but it's safe to say that there's a lot that are doing it that way. That's why they're always on edge from one moment to the other. Like every day, they will look at AMC like probably like 50,000 times within the same minute. I don't know how that's physically possible, but they do so. And then in the same time, they would have similar questions, because it's day to day, their attitude changes. Every article that comes out, if it was red or bad, they need an understanding to it, because it's stuck in their head. Like bad or good, it's going to stick. If it's news about my investment or something that's related around my investment, then it's going to stick in my head. And if it's negative, I need to know the answer to it, which takes away the fact of, or takes you back to, where was your conviction all along? What really got you to get into this play? Was it because everybody was talking about it, or was it because you saw the light? I don't want to say I saw the light, but in those layman terms, I would say I saw the light. So I don't need to get a daily update as far as why I need the conviction in these plays. No, I need a daily update on what's happening on the other side. That's different. So that's what keeps my mind clear and open to view what's happening around me. Because while everybody is focused on this is why for the longest time I've been saying that the other side knows that they lost this war. We're fighting still a battle that has already been won. We're only waiting on the keys to the city. And they have them, and they know that they're going to hand them over. But while everybody's busy with this, everything is happening in the back room, in that small back alley, that eventually becomes the new agenda after this movement is over with. And personally, for me, when I don't need to search for conviction because I've flipped or passed that realm or room or that door many, 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 many months ago, over a year and a half ago. My mind is clear on focusing on what is happening otherwise around AMC and all this stuff. And when I'm seeing that, now I see, this is why I report to you all this stuff about the crypto and what they're doing and how they're trying to come up with that dome on top of it and make and become the same guys with the future. Again, my opinion is crypto is the future. Diaz said, hey, ¿qué pasa, papa? Change it to I's instead of A's, Diaz, and put ¿qué paso, papi? Or were you trying to connect with Pete? Is Pete in the house? I don't know. Mikey J, how are you, my friend? Well, again, it's great that you're with us and you're listening. G Chronicles, cool as a cucumber here. I've got nothing but time. The finish line is within eyesight. We just have to keep pushing, keep up the good vibes. AB, appreciate you, my friend and family. It's so crazy how, like, yes, the moass literally is so near, guys, because of these other side actions that are happening around it. That it's so crazy because my camera is like up here and I keep looking down the screen. It's like I'm looking at myself. My eyes are down, but to look at you guys, I have to look up. It's weird. Then I look down to see what I look like or what I'm doing with my hands. Sorry, I'm not an angry person or anything. I know a lot of people associate the hand gestures and movements with angry people. No, I'm quite the contrary. I'm a very calm person, collective, but I do have red points or red moments. So there's like red lines where when those things get crossed or these things get touched, automatically it becomes more completely. I would do 180 degrees. It would be completely different. But those are like extremely rare. Like I'm not gonna tell people they are, so they could possibly go ahead and do them out of fun. But yes, there are some things that can make me become an individual you never thought you would see. But they're all values, and because of values, those red lines or red moments are specifically because of values and traditions, and I hold them dearly. You're late, Mikey. Let's see, where am I at? Ooh, I am way behind you guys still. Hey B, you're a bad boy. Okay, I think I found my where I left off. Adrian. Okay, so Adrian is in the house, or at least made it now to Adrian's message. Where am I still? Wow, I'm way okay. Okay, now I found. G Chronicles. I can't be cool here in sunny Arizona. It's cool, 116 degrees today. Get a tan, Jeffrey. Yes, smart man AB. I'm with you on that. Well, that's all I need. You know, I I rather have a lion than 50 sheep. You know the saying. Um, and better yet, I have all these lions in here. We're a pack of lions that. Oh my God, let's just stop there. We gotta keep baby safe. A cool 74 degrees here in the Bay Area, Cali. What? How is this even, like, why is this even fair? Like, you got an ocean, you got everything you need, and you got good weather too. Like, well, you do have crazy, at least prices on real estate there. But as Jerome Powell said yesterday, don't worry, help is on the line, on the way. There's going to be a great reset, or better yet, in better terms, uh, the market needs a reset so that we can measure up to the supply and demand, because there's high demand, less supply, and now there's, like, he even acknowledged that there are a lot of projects that are not finished, like unfinished homes in the process or pursuit of being built, but they're not finished because funding have come up short. This sounds familiar. 2008 all over again. Magnitude wise, 3 to possibly 5 times worse than 2008. What is that similar to? They've already been comparing it to the 80s and the late 70s recessions. And I think that that's an understatement. I think that we're heading for a Great Depression similar to the early 1900s. I hope that I'm wrong entirely about that. But I've made my preparations for something like that. Like, I'm not gonna, if there is a risk of anything, even if it's this tiny, of happening, I'm gonna make a case for it. In case it does go through, I'm not baffled or, oh my God, what happened? Electrified. Arthur, I saw the question posted to you, but not your response. I replied, in my opinion, it's not a reversal, but retail buying in to get burnt. I do see Bitcoin being the future of the crypto system, though. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So you should probably, yeah. It's in that answer I've added just like technicals about the situation, but you guys also got to remember, Arthur. My conviction is not that Bitcoin will only be the king or the leader in the crypto realm. I think it's going to be the leading cryptocurrency of the globe. And I've said this like a while back. You guys can look back at the previous lives and find it. And if anybody wants, I can pinpoint which one and find it. I'll dig through the archives and provide you exact time frame and everything. It's fine. I'll do it at your convenience. But the reason why I thought even back then that Bitcoin will be the main currency is because all these differences between world currencies, as far as the ruble, the dollar, the yen, and obviously every superpower wants to be the superpower, not just one of the superpowers, the superpower. At that point, I personally think that with this happening right now, this is a way for many uh, institutions and governments to try to accumulate whatever is even mined out of Bitcoin and get, like, take as much. This is an opportunity for them that is, in a way, this kind of self-made opportunity, which is very fraudish. But again, this is politics. Politics, when people say politics and money don't mix, they are one in one. Politics are politics because of money and financials. When people get into misunderstandings, fight, the victors make what? You think they just, okay, yeah, this was a loss, we will never do this again. They'll take a lot of money. Wars are made because some entity has a lack or greed, either a lack of something or greed on something that someone else had or and some other region has, and they want to exploit that. Now, the stuff that we hear on the news, obviously, oh yeah, we don't agree with how their treatments of goats are, or animal treatment in that region. So we want to go in there and save them, from all that. That stuff, that's politics right there. You see what I'm saying? But the rest, no one will go to war with someone out of. I don't want to ruin anybody's image on whatever image they have or they have formed on the globe or the world and how it operates. So I can stop there, but remember, politics and money run hand in hand. They're not. It's not that they don't mix together. They're one. They come together in one wardrobe. Uh, I'll buy the Bitcoin. I can at these prices. Yeah. Hey, see, here's the thing, DS, and obviously everyone also that's listening. And this is a cool point. It is much easier, for example, for people, and this is why I said I have a lot of scenarios that I already laid out in my head, and if those numbers are hit, I'm gonna act quickly, specifically for Bitcoin or some of the other coins that I'm keeping an eye on, special eye on. Um, it is much easier and better to average down from an average down point. So how does that make sense? Bitcoin in the 30s and in the 40s and in the 50s, back in those ranges, which was not too long ago, it is much tougher to average down from that at these levels, or perhaps if Bitcoin even dumps below 17.5, which is margin call land and collateral, not collateral, sorry, absolute destruction at that point. And that's when, yes, you can see a wee after, if it breaks that level, it's going to have a wee down to the, in my opinion, to the 10K and below range. It's so funny how months ago when I was like, and again, I'm not the only one that was saying this, when I was mentioning some of those things and saying that Bitcoin in the bottom 20s and whatever, many people didn't believe it. They didn't expect it. Some did believe it, but they said that, oh, when that happens, that means we're going to moass right after. That's yet to be proved, but it's very likely. It is very likely that's definitely one of the cases. As far as I know, if you tell me, well, shit, it's going to be a full collective effort between hedge funds money, reverse repo. You see what is valuated, whatever collateral they hold, you see what it's worth, because obviously it's happening on a daily basis in repo and reverse repo operations. So you know the magnitude of what they're holding. So they got money. So it's a combination of both, I think. But the way that I was in one of my scenarios was, it is much easier to average down from, for example, let's say I took, like Diaz just mentioned, let's say I wanted to take a position now, it's bullish, right? I bought Bitcoin at 20. Let's say it continues to leg down more to 11 or 10. It is much easier and better feeling to average down from these levels down to whatever it bottoms out at than to try to average down from the high flying space levels of 50K, 34, 40 something K, all the way down to, whatever. Now, obviously, if moass have happened already, you wouldn't have problem with liquidity because that wouldn't be an issue. But as the moment right now, you're like, okay, I'm already, I have a huge egg nest here. So let's see let the eggs hatch, and then I'll go make a new one. So in my head, I just kind of gave you like the way that I'm approaching it, but not what I'm going to do exactly 100%, but that's how I'm going to approach it. So that, without saying what I will do, this should give you an inclination on how bullish I am on these levels and how unconcerned I am with how far lower it goes, because the one and only conviction that I needed was proof of longevity and proof of survival of cryptos in the future. And everything we talked about today, for me, again, it doesn't have to be to you, but for me, gave me all that conviction. And I was so bullish on it before, and now I'm just religiously on it. Like, I just can't wait for the right moment. And I can see that coinciding with us getting paid and getting our dues. And at the same time, we would have that to be right there. But now it's going to be very dangerous because I do think when the makeover is complete, there's a lot of fishes or traps that you're going to be hit with from the other side to try to take their money back. Not just the government taking taxes out of your uh, lump sum or your amount that you made, the money that you made, but also where you reinvest your money or your tendies afterwards into what? You have to keep an open eye. Not every coin that you see for the past 2 3 years is going to be the coin that you see it that it will be. Like, I'm not trying to throw FUD on Doge or Shiba Inu. Um, Again, Dogecoin was one of my biggest come ups. But again, that time have passed when you see major brokers hold majority of the leverage of that coin. Now, none of these brokers hold the leverage on Ethereum or Bitcoin, which is why this massive drop is happening. And there's a poop, obviously, and then there's going to be the scoop after to follow right after. Okay, let's see. Stacia saying, goat about to be sacrificed for a meal, baby. Yep. I got the one. Oh, no, I was going to say something that was going to be like, uh-oh. But I'll enjoy it. Yep. I'll be enjoying the sacrificial lamb. Jeffrey saying, Fidelity, Webull, Robinhood, and TD went PCO today for options on Redbox. Where are they going to get all these shares from once they're exercised? That's the question. Whimsy Chick, how are you? Nice to see you in here. Hopefully you're doing well. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. Well, that's great, Jeffrey. Y'all have a good one. Thanks, AB. Keeping on. I'm glad I was able to say that. I thought I was going to stutter saying it. You do the same, my friend. Thanks for stopping by, Diaz, and you continuing on. Leo the Lion, what's up, brother? It's never a complete table without Leo in it. What's up, Prometheus? One of my favorite movies. Oh, and we got more celebrities in the house. We got Pam. How are you, my friend? Oh, look at you. Hopefully you enjoy the movie. I can't wait to hear about it from you afterwards. Yep. I'm with Jeffrey on that. Are those impossible nuggets really good? Uh, Pam? Yeah. Well, probably at this point you're watching, but I was hookah. I had a hookah earlier. It finished. Yeah. Oh, as far as the words, yes, that's the man cave. It has hookah in it, and then we can move this guy out of the way. They're not sponsors of the channel. Bad guys. Tiny investor. How are you, Dinette? Jeffrey, why are you singing a? Oh, oh, I didn't finish that. Well, okay. What the individuals do and what the songs are two different things. The song to me is a classic. I will always remember it. Now, what the individual did, that has nothing to do with the music. That was art. I'll give you an example. Leonardo da Vinci, one of the greatest brains of all time in human history. Um, there was many indications and like rumors that say that was talked about him, I guess, about history. We can't verify this personally because it's past. We can't go back in time and see it. But apparently, he was doing. He had this boy servant, a young boy servant that he was doing um, that word stuff too. But I guess that time was, I guess things were not as regulated as they are in today's world. People still acknowledge him for the work that he have done. The Mona Lisa is still the most famous painting in the world, as far as when I last checked, or one of. So it doesn't take away from what the guy did. Now, if he really did do these acts, terrible person, worse. And yes, he was one of the most genius brains of all time, and he was way ahead of his time. And his anatomy and dissecting bodies to see organs and all that at that time, back in the what was it, the 1600s or the 1400s? I think it was in the 14. Sorry, yeah, I think it was in the 1400s. Let me see, like way ahead of his time. But yeah, if he did, then it's unfortunate, it's terrible, but we can't take or discredit exactly what he did, right? Aha, so he was born in 1452 and died in 1519. By the way, that's pretty long for for those days back then, as far as living. Uh, Christy is in the house. How are you, my friend? Well, if you're still in here, 92 degrees at 6 p.m. here, but feels 102 with the humidity. No AC, so heading outside to try to cool off a little, stay hydrated, and not overexertion in that heat up there. $16 tomorrow, fingers crossed. And guess what? I definitely hope so. That's the case, and even beyond, to infinity and beyond. Right, Pam? I feel that the Celsius is being targeted by short seller. Yeah, didn't they have a major like sell off like a few days ago or something, or still going through it? I was so into this this whole realm. I was all like for the past few weeks I've been dealing with situations with health checkups and stuff like that, and I was extremely busy with that, and then all this shilling that is happening around with the community, and people going out of their way to try to make sure that they tell AB he's a clown and whatnot. It's not many, it's just one or two here or there. They're not affecting, by the way, my feelings. In fact, I even comment back and say thank you to them. I've learned in my life since I was even a youngin that the best way to cope with crap or what the world throws at you, whether it's through individuals or just life situations, is to reverse the way you look at it and make it more like a bet against you. So when these people come out and call, for example, AB clown, um, say thank you because they just gave me more fuel to utilize for inspiration or for motivation. They just gave me more fuel in my motivation tank to continue to do on. So nothing is gonna deter me away from. Put it this way: if freaking Ken Griffin and Citadel couldn't make me back down and flinch on my moves for almost 2 years by September, then I'll tell you this: I'm not a simple small shield gonna come out of nowhere and call me a letter or a word. It doesn't matter what it is, and that's gonna make me fold and go hide in the background or go into my man cave. In fact, the reason why I'm in my man cave is because it's an enjoyable place. Any of you guys will love it. Anything you need, PS4s, purifiers, whatever you want. glow, neons, everything. Projectors for movies, all that stuff is down here. You would not leave. Mini fridge. Corey gave Boss Blunts a shout out at the shareholder meeting to Adam Aaron. That was awesome. Oh. So correct me on this. So that was the random question that that came from the question segment. That was that guy. That, oh my God, it's all adding up right now. Wow, that's amazing. Holy smokes. I definitely can't watch. I can't wait to watch that, rewatch that Boss Live. Well, I don't know, not all 6 or 7 hours of it, but I'll definitely watch most of the highlights of it. Wow, that's intense. I can't even wait to go to the think tank to also see all about it. I'm pretty sure it was lit in there, or it is lit in there. JP in the house. Thanks for the support, brother. Boss was great. Maybe it was like sitting in class loving it. Well, I would expect nothing less from a class act. So, Kim A, burning inferno here in Texas. I believe it. I believe it. Adrian would definitely believe it as well and say yes. He can confirm that. Then Pam said, then late dinner with friends and then to Pantheon live stream later. Or yes, guys, don't forget to check out, Pantheon later on. Normally it's right around 12 o'clock my time. That he airs. And I'm pretty sure if you follow Pantheon, you'll see the event for it, and you guys watch it because there will be very, very important stuff as always that he will always share with people. Great DD, second to none. Nice. Love this. Look at this. Ah, did the skip thing again. And yeah, yes, I did not highlight it, Jeff. But I know where I'm at. That's good. Okay, they were actually one of the best platforms out there. I might be biased because I have crypto in it right now. It seems like the attack came out of nowhere. Seems like Cell token were shorted heavily a few days before they had to shut down withdraw. Cost to borrow were 2,600. Poop and scoop, sort and distort. Maybe. Seems like it. Um, well, if it all happened, yes, in that capacity or in that order, just like that, uh, it's obviously definitely following the overwhelming same pattern of the entire crypto realm. I mean, just similar to when AMC drops, when all the creators come out and say, "Oh yeah, on a macro level, we're within the market, so we're expected to drop." I don't really necessarily agree entirely with that. Um, but I understand why it's happening. It's because they can't come out and say, okay, yeah, for their reasons, for their purposes that they know of, they can't let that, like, they're over leveraged again on our stocks. They're not just investors in our stock. They're over leveraged and overly naked shorting the stock. So we can't be in the same market as the rest of the stocks logically. But the reason why it looks like this is because all these things are fake. The price that we have is fake. Most of these FTDs that did not go into evaluation of the stock makes the capitalization of the price ultimately of the stock where it's at now. But logically, realistically, we're nowhere around that. We should easily be way higher than where we are, just with the FTDs alone. Let alone, you know, even thinking about the nightmare of the shorts. So when people come out and say stuff about, like, you know, not just creators, but other people say, oh, it's out of your mind, you'll be lucky to see 50 or 70 or 100 or something like that. And then some others talk about 100K and $1 million share. Most of these people, whether on the high side or on the low side, are completely misapproaching the move or these plays. You know, they're going about it in a different way. That's just all I'm saying, is that they're not understanding the actual reasoning behind of how all these things are working out. This is not really a price that we're looking at that is reflective on the stock. This price doesn't make sense. Okay. And due to very many variables, it's not just you know, the shorts or how many shares are on loan, the 193 that are reported, which could be catastrophically way more, many times more than what is even being reported. But all that on one side, and just look at the FTDs alone. And if all those were to just go in toward the stock, then that goes into the market cap of the stock, which further puts it higher, which further makes or gets the price of the stock higher. And to their best interest, that does not happen, so that they don't get screwed, right? So that's why we're not really technically in that's my opinion on why we're really not in the same market as the other stocks. But again, at the end of the day, once we squeeze, is anybody going to care? Like, oh, are we in the same market or are we not in the same market? You're just going to be so busy with your tendies, right? Rightfully so. And yes, so I would finish it off tiny with sell. I haven't done much work on this one, so honestly, I don't want to give you like a straight up answer like this and tell you something of what I probably could think it could be. But definitely does sound like a poop and scoop. Like the events that you're mentioning over here to me, they definitely sound like how a poop and scoop works. I need to visit San Antonio someday. Good tourist spot and Six Flags. Yeah, we got one of those Six Flags here in Ohio. Where? I forgot where in Ohio. Is it in Ohio or? Well, first we have Kings Island, which is owned by Cedar Point, which owns Six Flag. We got Kings Island. We got Six Flags somewhere around here. I don't know, like in Michigan, I think, or borders of Indiana or Ohio. But far away from Cincinnati. It's like an hour away from Cincinnati, at least. Heck yeah, we are Pride of Lions, Mikey. Even though Bitcoin is inflated through Tether. Okay, so as far as I see where this question is coming from, but here's the simple answer to it. Whether it's inflated, deflated, or not, the question here is it going to be part of the future, or is it going to coexist? Because just a few months ago, still up till as of up till a few months ago, and many people still believe that all crypto is going to be nothing, is going to go away. And again, I can't tell people what to think, yes or no, but in my opinion, that I'm not even thinking about no inflation or like the inflated levels. Sorry, the inflated levels on any coin or deflated levels on whatever coin. If it's a coin that I do my due diligence on, and let's say I'll use, for example, Bitcoin as you used, I personally think is going to be the main currency in the world, and that value of it will be in goods to the point where every country will do transactions with other countries across the borders using Bitcoins, because that's the thing that they're going to be verified the most. Like, for example, who's to stop China from saying, I don't want to do any transactions in dollars? Nothing, right? And so far, it's the second highest economy in the world. Um, and Russia could say, no, I don't want to do anything but in rubles or yen. It's going to be a major conflict of interest on the whole globe. So what's the only thing where that can make everybody happy? Everybody can still have their currency, but based on their GDP and basically the value of their currency will be evaluated based up on Bitcoin. Now, I'm not saying this is exactly what's going to happen. This is my thought. What I see, what could be the possible outcome out of this? It could be down the line. It could be in the near future. But that's just my way of how I look at it as far as for Bitcoin. So since I know that, since I have this much strong conviction in it, the idea of it being inflated or deflated, that comes down to that. I mean, that doesn't, I don't even think of it at all, because at the end of the day, I'm looking at my levels and technical. That's where my technicals come in effect. My technicals are not colluding, and neither anybody's technicals should be colluding with also the news that are coming around. Like, technicals can't dictate what's happening with Citadel trying to become the market maker in the crypto realm with Virtue and Sequoia, and having a tight hand with all the brokers, bringing them in on the play as well. You know, to me, as long as I have the conviction on that, and I know that that's going to be the future, now I have to retreat to my technicals and see what's happening, how it's moving, and I'm assuming it should be down now, even lower. And yep, little that you know, as soon as I look at it, yep, we made another low move down to $20,200. We're inching closer and closer. We're literally like about 1 to 1.5% away from the 52-week low, the previous 52-week low, which tells me that most likely once we touch that, that's where all eyes, like my eyes, are going to be wide open at that point. If we continue to drop and then past that, my personal technicals are 17,600, 700, but just to be safe for me, it's 17.5. It's just, it rolls out of tongue easier. We touch that level, then I already know that I personally will be holding because, or waiting, because that tells me that many people at that level will get crucified in the institutional world, margined easily. Was that my second cup of coffee? It was. Yeah, I'm going to be overly hyper. I'm not sleeping at night tonight. Yes, so all that could easily happen, and that could confirm on a technical level that it could, because of these margin calls, liquidations happen, further sinking the price of the coin or the crypto realm down even further, which means at that point, that's when my knife and fork comes out, and I have already sharpened the knife. So we'll see what happens. Who was that to ask that? Uh, Aaron Gallo, 16. Monkeypox Pride Month. Brendan and Ella's Fun Adventures. How are you, my friend? I see you in here. Let me see if there are any questions. I'm just going to slide through these real quick. See any of my favorite people also, or anybody I will give a shout out to as well. Beth, how are you? Nice to see you in here as well. Ready for some moass. Okay. Positive shareholder meeting today. Yep. Yep. Indeed it was. Leah is in the house. How are you, my dear friend? Hopefully you're doing well. I am traveling to my next work destination, headed to the beach. Let's go to the beach. Beach, let's get away. That song's now is going to be stuck in my head. Look what you have done, Leah. Love seeing everyone on AB streams. We have a great AMC family. We do indeed. Oh, it did the skip thing again. It's fine. Oh, I'm catching up. I'm catching up. Nice. Red One, how are you, brother? Nice to see you in here. We're able to catch you. All right, so let's see what's happening here. I've shared everything I wanted to with you guys already. Let's see if anything else happens. And crazily, guys, this dump down as far as with the crypto, this like this second leg, I didn't anticipate it to happen this soon. I was expecting it to happen later on tonight, like after 9, like 9:30ish, 11, around that time. That only tells me that, oh my God, we're gonna see some crazy fireworks later on tonight. So hopefully you had enough coffee. All right. I'm missing out on the karaoke. Well, Redwan, just log into the Discord and just start one. Either in our Discord or you could go over to Pam's Discord and you'll see a karaoke lounge there. But again, it comes down to whoever wants to start one or go down or go through with one, and we'll go from there. Excuse me. Almost forgot. Today's segment, ladies and gentlemen, has been brought to you by our number one sponsor, Aqua. Make sure you stay hydrated, my friends. Da-da-na-na. You like the commercials? Somebody having chest pain. What? Is that Stacia? I saw Jeffrey saying that earlier. Beth, I'm right there with you. I stopped talking about it with family. One day they'll see me differently. Until then, let's effing go. Yeah, I have the same thing, by the way. And my family, uh, the only way I was able to not deal with this, because again, they are not, they they're not as engaged as we are, or as you are in this case, in keeping up with the play on a daily base. It's just not embedded within their lifestyle yet, at least for many of them. So when you're the one who's coming in to do all this, they're looking at you from the lens of, are you really a known professional about this? And which takes me to again to that statement once I said that people go and flock to listen to what Warren Buffett has to say, or Mark Cuban, or Ken Griffin has to say, because they got supposedly the accolades. So they flock to that, not knowing that they're running to the same people that are trying to poop and scoop them out of them. You know, these guys don't climb a ladder and keep it, and help others up. No, these guys climb a ladder or forge a ladder, climb up illegally, and then afterwards they burn down the flag, that ladder, which obviously you've seen in many of these buildings that were supposedly being burned down to the ground uh, from nothing, from nothing. So there's nothing good that comes out of these guys. And as Citadel loves to say, we just want to provide liquidity to the markets. Thank you, but no thank you. We are the liquidity, and you're just basically taking it, taking it illegally from many innocent people. Yeah, it might seem like you skimming a little bit right off the top, but you know how many people you're burning in doing so. Uh, their time will come. Kim, I think in here, someone in here said, I read earlier, said, their karma would get them. Big B, how are you, brother? How do we know the difference between when AMC squeezes versus moass? Oh, okay, that's a good question. Liquidity, same old excuse. LOL. Yeah, right. So Big B, with that is because moass is the same thing. I understand we got creative with calling the squeeze moass because it just sounds bigger, and it is. Yes. So at the end of the day, yes, the mother of all short squeezes. But a lot of things will go into it, Big B. Like when someone asks me that question, you got to put a lot of factors in. One, does this have the potential of being the moass, the mother of all short squeezes? Absolutely. Like it has all that. Will it end up being the case? I'm betting on it. However, all these other millions, are they sharing my same sentiment? See, so there's a lot of things that have to go correctly in order for it to be that. So when you approach this, the answer to this question is a very kind of a political one, because when you approach this, you need to approach it with the sense of, I said earlier, what you need, what you want, and what can make that happen, what takes care of you, and what ends up being the case of happening. So when we approach the squeeze, let's say it starts off as a squeeze, and it's on in the pursuit of getting to the moass or becoming a mother of all short squeezes, you have to be on your A game, ready to go with, like, if anything happens, you have to be ready to act on it fast, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your people. You got to take care of a lot of people that are in with you. No one in the community, they will share some sentiment with you if you get burned, but no one is going to come and lift your burden. And that goes for everybody. And I know this. For example, I'll put myself on the pedestal again. I can get completely screwed on this play somehow, God forbid, and I end up being a bag holder. You know what the community will give me? Sympathies, and thankfully so. But at the end of the day, am I in this for that? I don't want to be in that pedestal. I don't want to be in that position. So I got to take care of myself. But in the same time, nobody's gonna come, I know, and say, you know what? It's okay. At least you were nice enough and you're a cool person and all that, and here's a couple $1,000,000. You know what I'm saying? Neither will I even probably accept it anyways, even if we get to that point, because that's just not embedded within my makeup. Like I don't take handouts. And in order for me not to belittle uh, my self-respect to myself and my values, I need to be in action or do things that will make sure that I don't end up being in positions like that. I don't put myself in positions like that because I know that it's not something that I can handle or do. So hopefully that answers it in a long way, Big B. Because you can ask somebody and say, oh, so if the price surged to 50K a share, hypothetically speaking, is that considered moass or not? I guarantee you, yeah, maybe people will say yes, but I guarantee you many people will come out and say no. 100,000 is not even enough for it to be considered the moass. Like everybody is so different on it. That's why you got to approach it as you are approaching it, not like thinking of others and what they're going to do and all that stuff. Because yes, we are a community, but ultimately we're all in this for money, right? So take care of your stuff, brother. Cover your bases. Don't put yourself in a position where you would have to accept people's sympathies. Again, what anybody does is what they do. That's just me. Beth said, okay, at Stacia, they'll definitely look at us differently when we roll up to those next family gathering in our Lambos. See, here's the thing. I definitely agree with you, Beth. In fact, you're going to be the guest of honor each and every single day within the family because you're the person everybody wants to be the closest to. Doesn't matter, far cousin, close cousin, sibling, everything, you know, um, and everybody. And it's going to be a great feeling. Again, the best feeling and everything about this is that if when it happens and it does happen in God's willing, uh, hopefully, whether not in the near future or soon or later, whatever, that it's going to happen and you're going to have that look and that sense like, oh my God, I was in this for however long you were in it for. Everything in the world was going against me. The most influential and corrupt people on the planet were against us, and all this stuff. And yet we held through, and look what I came out on the other side looking like, or with what. We looted the shit out of them at that point. I salivate on that statement. Could you imagine, actually, better yet, also, could you imagine when we make a family gathering with like AMC family gathering? What kind of venue will be able to hold us? Whether AMC or GME holders, like basically post moass survivors. Can you believe it? Can you imagine when we all gather up in a place what it's going to be like? They're going to be calling us or label us people who don't even join in who are not a part of this movement all along. They were never a part of it. All these people will probably be like, they'll label us as the new Rothschilds and the Rockefellers of the world. Because when we make a gathering, can you imagine all these Rolls Royces and Lambos and Bentleys in one place? Special catered drinks and cocktails and um, freaking orchestra in the background, whatever kind of scene, however way you see it. But just imagine all of us gathering at the same place, and we're all holding our, massive weird cars and doing things just almost carelessly at that point. I don't know. It's just funny to think about it and to entertain the thought and see how far it can go. The next day, we all wake up, we're all passed out on the freaking beach. Hair everywhere, like pointing, and it's like, oh man, what happened yesterday? I know after this, I'm going on a vacation. Probably that's going to be over a year long, probably, easily. That's the only shrink that can rehab me back to life is a long vacation. Big B, thanks, brother. A man of the community. Yeah, no, I would have it or do it no other way, brother. So I'm glad that that was able to give you or answer that question that you asked, Big B. Just like Boss Blunt said, I never want my child to be a work slave. Yeah, you can't add anything else to that. Maybe I want them to be employers. Well, yeah, of course. I get the statement, but hopefully, great employers, right? I'm going to get a ranch and name it TFH Ranch. TFH Ranch. All that doubted me would have to wear a tinfoil hat to enter. Leah, when did you switch over to this? You got me with that one. Good one. Does that mean I have to put one on to enter? Nope. Back to work on Monday as usual. Sheen dials. Um, yeah. Shabomskis. All right. So where's Bitcoin and crypto right now currently? As soon as the market closed for after hours as well. Oh yeah. New low just got hit. Let's go, baby. Drop, drop, baby. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I'm gonna say it like this: if no new postponements happen within the next couple weeks, or nothing comes out saying that that you have to that bbig is gonna further postpone their special spinoff, because the special spinoff was supposed to take place, but the reason why it was relegated to later is because here's what the answer here's what they gave you. They said, okay, we're trying to validate all that stuff and we just need more time to get the share count and all this stuff, but here's my answer to that. That's what they reported. Now what I will say to you is the SEC is basically saying there's no way we will register this because the freaking float is not even known. We can't do a special dividend 10 for each one. And there is possibly, like, I think the SEC saw what the DTC was showing them. They're like, the DTCC came in and called the SEC probably overnight and said, we might want to stop this party with this cryptide stuff because, if we're going to go through with this tomorrow, that was probably the night before, there's no way that we could issue that much, whatever figure they showed the SEC. And when the SEC saw it, they're like, oh, okay. So what do you suppose we do? They're like, okay, how about we just postpone it, burn a lot of options, because people did get burned in that time frame. I remember some of which are in our community or members in our community. One of them is actually not present today and been gone for quite a while. But ultimately, in doing so as well, is this gives us a more time to go ahead and double down and even take it down further to make a new 52-week low, and perhaps even a little bit less, as much as we can, to shake off as many people, take off a lot of the steam. As you can see, you have not been hearing anything for the last 2 weeks about bbig. It's been quiet. Suddenly, that's when the storm pops up. What I'm trying to allude to, guys, is AB, and this is just a feeling. So again, this has nothing to do with what I always talk about or preach or whatnot. So if anybody cares about AB's feelings, I am feeling that jacked that I don't want to say my, but the tits are jacked for these next couple of weeks. Let's see what comes up, because something has to happen within the next couple of weeks anyways. That's the expected time frame. Unless they come out and postpone it again, then that's a problem. And plus, I forgot to show you guys this. I should have showed you guys this earlier, but this, I brought this specifically. I got many of them too. So all you beautiful people with wrenches in the chat, all you beautiful mods, you also will have one of these to play, because sometimes a wrench or a hammer is too big for a cockroach or for a shib. So sometimes it's best to just slap them down, right? Man, I wanted to go play. Speaking of that, I got this. I'm really happy. Like, I'm really cool with this too, like the pattern. And I'm very, very interested in tennis. So recently, like in the past few weeks, because I can't do much in basketball with my ankle and the way it is, but it's getting better. Been able to go and do some tennis, and I'm liking it. And I'm actually really beginning to like it. So, who knows, if any tennis players in here, yeah, I look forward to probably having some one-on-ones or duos. Could you imagine? Adrian was practicing his karaoke. Oh shit! I need to get my game up. Then I need to go practice. People are taking it that serious. Oh, Sheen Dials, no, AB. You have to wear the tinfoil hat and dribble the ball through the door. Okay, I thought I would just ask. Oh my god. Bittercoin is going bye right now. Meow. And speaking of that, oh look, yeah, they're trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, it touched its resistance or its support, and now it's about to bounce. Nope, I don't see that happening. All is fair in love and war, and we're not at war. But I do love you guys. So stay out of your feelings, be a sport, and take the point. It's on y'all. All right, Adrian. All right. All right. Look at that. How could you deny someone like the Coiler? You know? Thanks for all the likes, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for all. I hit that like before the stream started. I always do. Good habit to have. I agree with you. Leah, you play tennis? Okay, then. All right. So, Leah, maybe after you have your own ranch, as you mentioned, maybe you can have a tennis court in your property somewhere. And we all could, come in and have friendly actions in there. The only good habit you have. Roasted. You're the only one I'm hitting. You never know when I'll hit a red at random for absolutely no reason, rather than because I can. Ooh, yes, barbecue and tennis. Now you're talking my language. Now you're talking my language. All right, my beautiful people. It was fun laughing with you and having fun with you, and it was fun Also, I hope that you enjoyed the information we're talking about with all the crypto, what's happening there, why AB thinks the moass is really near because of all the catalysts that are happening right now in the background that are also making the picture very clear. I mean, we've mentioned many things in the past about these things are like what I think is possibly going to happen in this, but now the image is very, very clear. If you've been in the market for a while and you've experienced all the tricks that these guys have up their sleeves and everything, what the hell? This is weird. My, what is it? The equivalence of Siri for Androids, it literally just came up and was like, type in everything I'm saying. Uh-oh, we got an implant. Check your Weebles, check your TD Ameritrades, check your everything, check your Fidelities, your Charles Schwab. See if there is a bug in those brokers that could basically enable them to control your phone. So with all that, guys, at this point now you see like the picture is so clear and it's like it's not even a writing on the wall, it's like a whole picture, and I'm enjoying it. So therefore, hopefully you're enjoying it too. Hopefully you enjoyed everything we talked about today. Thanks for stopping by, all of you, and actually sharing your time, your most available and wonderful and important asset with me. That means the world to me. I can't say anything more than I love you guys. And even then, nothing can really measure up to what you're offering me in return. So I humbly and gracefully, you know, uh, accept all of it and appreciate it. All right. So if there's no more questions, I see. Thank you, Stacia. Thanks, Tel Dog. Appreciate you, brother. Leah, everyone, Jeffrey. I'll catch some of you guys at some point, hopefully through Pantheon's live tonight. I'll come in. I don't know what will be going on, but I'll definitely try to catch some of you guys then. And with that being said, guys, try to stay out of the heat. Watch out from shorting the meme stocks. Much love, AV Investments.